Okay, so I assume that you watched already the video that I made yesterday about the tutorial for trading 100x gems on Tron and how the Tron ecosystem is taking the meme coin space by storm, and you still got the potential to actually make crazy money because you're super early, you're as early as it gets. And just an update, a couple days later, I am printing money already. I've been making consistently between $2,000 and $3,000 for the last couple of days. And no, this video is not clickbait by any means. So I wanna show you exactly how I'm doing this, how I'm helping the people within my VIP group do this, and let's get started. Before we get started though, just consider obviously subscribing to this channel because I'm bringing alpha on a daily basis, and same for my X profile. In fact, you would have gotten some very early calls. You would have gotten Brett at 180k, and it ended up doing even a 2.5x from that level, and you would have gotten a 8x if you had been in my VIP group. But now let's get to the point, and then we're gonna recap this whole situation and I've been trading and what I've been trading specifically in the last couple of days. So the video of yesterday is more of a tutorial. I've already told you this is the wallet that you need to download. It's called Tron Link. And no, a lot of you guys have asked me, can I use Uniswap because this wallet is trash? Yes, the wallet is trash. There's no way around it. So get over it. And you need to understand what it takes to be an early adopter for an ecosystem. Like, you're gonna deal with platforms that are dog shit. You're gonna deal with exchanges that barely work. You're gonna deal with a platform like Sunpump that barely displays the charts and the completion, the bonding curve of projects. Is absolutely terrible. But that also means that there's less cheaters, there's less bots, and there's less snipers. Honestly, I haven't seen that many scams like I'm seeing on Solana. You guys know that there's an overabundance of projects being born on Solana. There's dozens of projects on Solana being built and launched every single second. Whereas with Tron, the ecosystem is so brand new when it comes to meme coins that there's going to be way less room for error, for bad actors in the space, and for rugs even to take place. So all of this, you can see that it comes with its pros and its cons. There's advantages and disadvantages to the whole thing. Anyway, in a nutshell, this is the only wallet that you can use, and there's nothing else that you can do. However, there are some trading bots that are being born. Apparently, I haven't tried any one of those. I'm very loyal to BullX, and hopefully they're gonna release a BullX integration sooner than later when it comes to Tron, so we can actually get started with BullX because obviously it's the best trading bot in the sphere, and I would like to trade Tron meme coins on there, so hopefully it's going to be supported sooner than later. Anyway, I connect my Tron Link wallet to Sunswap. Sunswap is the Uniswap of the Tron ecosystem, so to speak, and this is where you're going to trade them. I've already explained, so I'm not going to focus too much on this, but rather I want to talk about how to actually find this gem, because obviously it's all good and all to be able to trade them, but how am I actually doing this? So there's very different ways to talk about it, and I'm gonna explain to you some very different ways in no particular order, or without saying, oh, this is the best way, this is the worst way. There's different ways that you can go on about it. But what I can tell you is that you should focus on the things that are born on Sunpump for a very simple reason. The ecosystem is so new and we're not seeing that many rugs, but the rugs that I've seen so far, the projects that are rugged straight off the bat, are the projects that are being, created by a third-party deployer and not coming from Sunpump in the first place. As probably a lot of you know, the way that Pump Fund was actually originated for the Solana ecosystem was to protect people from rugs. And although probably 99% of Pump Fund projects rugs actually, it also protects people from honeypots and rugs and devs dumping as soon as it gets released, and rugging, for thousands and thousands of profit is no longer a thing. However, obviously the dev can still cheat and sell early, but you can prevent yourself from being stuck in a honeypot, meaning a project that you can essentially buy and then not being able to sell. Also, when it comes to the Solana ecosystem, we have tools like Soul Scanner, Telegram bots that can prevent you from getting into rugs. Obviously, I use BullX. BullX has all of the rug prevention tools, but since we have nothing on the source for Tron, at least stick to everything that has been born with Sunpump, because you're going to be at least assured that they're not going to pull a rug on you in terms of removing liquidity or building a honeypot. So that should be the first step. Always make sure that the project is born through Sunpump. Then the second thing that I would do would be researching a project that has already been successful over the Solana or the base chain. So one of my reasonings yesterday was, for instance, to find the breadth of the Tron ecosystem. And at the time of me investing into the project, there was absolutely no breadth on Tron. And after this, there's so many that follow. So this unfortunately no longer applies. If you're able to find a project that is still not a duplicate, then perhaps you have a chance. But when I started looking into it yesterday, there was no Brett on the Tron ecosystem. So I selected this one because it was Tron Brett, the first Brett on the red chain of Tron. And because of this, I was already sure that this would be a winner. Now, this is no longer applying, at least to Brett. Perhaps it's gonna apply to other project, but for Brett, it's not gonna apply. So what I did was just go into this project. And by the way, I didn't get into this project when it got released on Sunpump. In fact, I was quite late to the party. And I also want to prove a point here that the majority of projects don't really rug as soon as they are released. And that really says about how early you are in the ecosystem. You guys remember the days in which you aped into Solana project and they didn't rug straight away? Well, that was the case with Solana. Nowadays, 90% are gonna rug in the first 5 minutes. But with Tron, you can see that, for instance, this project was released at 70k market cap, whatever it is when it comes to the completion of the bonding curve, and then it pumped at 2.5x. Despite the fact that it was just out, people were not taking profits immediately. People were actually holding it. Then it dropped, obviously, because obviously a lot of people are going to be in a lot of profits, so they're going to sell. But after that, it went on to pump astronomically. In fact, we did a 9x. I thought it was an 8. It was actually a 9x from the very moment in which we bought and I bought to the top. So this is where I bought. This is where I sent the buy alert to my VIP groups. You can see that this was a clear win and we ended up printing money. And then my exit strategy, I took my profits, I took my initial out after making a couple of X's, and then I just rolled the profits along the way and I took some profits here and here and here, and then I sold pretty much most of my bag right here. Then I saw that the volume was declining and I ended up just taking the remaining of my bag before the project went to zero, because projects go to zero. It doesn't mean that you're investing into a rug, because obviously if you see the chart today, oh, it rugged, bro, it's shit. Well, it doesn't matter because I got in at the bottom and I sold the top and I and my people made money. Obviously, you shouldn't focus on a project and then hodl it and keep it for days. You need to get in, get out, and move on to the next thing. It's way better to find multiple 2, 3, or even 2x's, really, and then move on to the next thing, rinse and repeat, than just buying something and waiting for a 10 to 20x to happen. Obviously, we managed to get a 9x, but even if we had done a 2 to 3x, I would have taken gladly all of my bag and move on to the next thing. I don't really need to make a 10x every single time to make a lot of money. I'm good just diversifying, making some multipliers, taking my profits early, and then moving on to the next thing. So definitely the mindset thing and mindset aspect should be the priority in your gem hunting journey, but also consider that, it's this ecosystem, people are not going to take their profits so early like they would do on the Solana chain, or even like they're doing on the base chain and a variety of other networks right now. So perhaps you can be a little more reckless, just don't overdo it. And obviously always remember that there's never a wrong thing such as taking profits. Also, another thing is that there's both DEX tools and DEX screener. When I posted the video yesterday, DEX screener was not available yet, but right now you can also check these charts on DEX screener. However, I would highly discourage you from using DEX screener. I would prefer if you use DEX tools. Obviously do whatever you want, but this is what I would recommend because the charts are updated way faster. I remember last night I was looking at the chart of Brett on Tron and DEX screener was showing 170k market cap, whereas DEX tools, the real market cap was 250k. So it was a big discrepancy. It was almost a 50% discrepancy in prices, which is absolutely atrocious, especially if you're investing in projects to get an in and out and get short-term money. So that is absolutely atrocious. I wouldn't recommend you guys to do this. So as I said, follow the existing recipes, follow things that have worked already. However, that doesn't mean investing into duplicates, because it's one thing to invest into the first Brett on the Tron ecosystem, but it's also another thing to invest into something that has been created already. So for instance, look at this, Brettman on Tron. There's already 3. So if you want to invest into Brettman and you think that that is going to be a good investment, make sure that it's not the second or the third or whatever into the chain. You can see that there's already 3. So if you're investing into the third, then you're investing into a duplicate, into something that has been created already. So it's either going to rug, it's probably a scam, it's probably a scammy group of devs that appropriated themselves of the website of a project that has already been successful or not, for that matter, or it's the same sketchy dev that rugged the project and recreated it again to rug it again and rinse and repeat. So obviously you want to watch out for this kind of scams. This is one of the most important scams that applies to every pre-launch platform, really, not just to Sun Pump, but obviously even to Pump Fun and Ape Store. But definitely something that you need to be very well aware of, and it's something that is so easy because, for instance, if I just type here Bratman, bam, I already have 3. So obviously I'm not going to invest into this. Okay, so that should be pretty straightforward. Now, when it comes to filter, these are so funny, by the way. When it comes to filter, you can just filter for launch time or trading volume. I would say trading volume is probably the best metric that you can find, but you're obviously gonna see projects that are already quite big, but could also be a good thing for you guys to invest into projects that are quite big already, but they have launched through Sun Pump, because you can be certain that they actually coming from this platform and they're not gonna come from a sketchy dev, just like the point that I was mentioning before. So trading volume can be a good thing, and obviously you can also put listed on SunSwap. And here goes my next point. For instance, you can put launch time and listed on SunSwap, so you're gonna see all of the newly launched pairs that are listed to SunSwap, meaning that they go to 100% completion of the bonding curve, and perhaps you're going to be able to find the next 100x gem. And as I was saying before, making the example of Brett, the main thing is that the majority of projects don't really dump at listing. And one thing that you can do would be just doing with the same practice that I just mentioned here, looking for all of the projects that got to 100% completion curve and waiting for that project to be listed on SunSwap. And hear me out. A lot of people will say, hey, but they're going to dump on you, or how would I do that? Because obviously they're going to list immediately. You'll be very wrong. So first of all, you can see here that the chart went around 2.5x just by the moment in which they got listed here to the moment in which it started dumping. And then, by the way, you would have gotten a 9x from this very level, from this very dip that you can see right here. But the other thing is that from the moment in which a project on Sun Pump gets to 100% completion in the bonding curve to the moment of listing on SunSwap, there's going to be a very big gap of time. It's going to be between the 2 to 3 hours that a project is going to get listed there, which is mind-blowing, because if you think at Pump Fun, it's usually immediate, or it's going to take a few minutes, right? It's usually not more than 5 minutes. But here it's going to take hours. And because of that, you can spot the projects on Sun Pump and then figure out, see what projects have gotten right now to 100% completion, and then ape in immediately, hope for the next 2x, and then get out of the project. So for instance, if you had done the same thing for Brett, you would have gotten here, and then you would have made a 2.5x, perhaps a 2x, and you start taking your initial out. So let's say my strategy here, if I'd followed the launch, I actually bought the bottom, so I didn't follow the launch myself. But the strategy here, if I had monitored the launch, I would have done this. I would have invested in bot right in, right away. And then at 2x, here I take my initial out. So initial goes out here, and then I see it pump another 0.5x. And here I take the remaining of my moonback. So I end up doing a little over a 2x, and then I can rinse and repeat to another project, or I can wait for the project to bottom out, and specifically to go to the bottom of the RSI, the relative strength index. This is, by the way, the thing that I look the most when analyzing projects, because people think that TA doesn't work for meme coins. I call bullshit on those people, because I use this and it works every freaking time. So you can see here that on the RSI indicator, we touch pretty much the bottom of being oversold, and you obviously want to do the exact opposite of what people are doing. So you can see here, if you bought here when the project was overbought, then you would have rather all the way through when the project was oversold, and perhaps DCA'd all the way through, and you would have made a shitload of money, to be completely frank with you. So this works, and this is a very clear strategy that you can use. Like this new launch aping doing in new launches. Perhaps it's not going to work every single time because sometimes they're going to rug immediately. But in more times than not, I have seen the project start pumping and out of nowhere, they start doing this 2 to 3x and then they just rug miserably, or they bottom out and then they pump for another 10 to 20x. And obviously, I mean, it should be without saying that you should find a bit of originality. So I'm seeing something that is boys club related. So for instance, Sun Club, they look sketchy. Characters of the boys club, as long as they have some kind of originality trait and they are revolving around the Tron ecosystem. Game of Thrones, this looks funny as well, like things that are actually catchy, you know, things that are related into the Chinese Asian meta. We're seeing so many of these ones, but they can actually, if they make sense within the ecosystem, if they are original enough, then they could have potential. They could also go to 0, but always look for that originality trait and obviously make sure that the project is not a duplicate. So for instance, let's go and type Trank. You see, this project was original. I don't know how this project did. I have no freaking idea. In fact, I can see the chart doesn't look that bad. Could be an entry, could not be. I don't know. But you can see that the project at least is original. There's not another one. And also, another thing that I can tell you is that this interface is terrible. It's absolutely terrible. The sum pump interface doesn't even work. In fact, the bonding curve progress, if a project has just launched, it's not going to update. On DEX tools is obviously not updating because it's not listed on a decentralized exchange yet. And yeah, the devs need to fix this website. It's absolute shit, but it's what it comes. It's the cost of being an early adopter of a project. Anyway, the chart, sometimes it updates, sometimes it doesn't. Food for thought. However, what you can do, for instance, if you click on this thing, you can check the balance that you have, which by the way, it's not going to be displayed 100% accurately all the freaking time. But with this, you can actually add it to your Tron Link wallet because obviously it's going to be a custom contract address. Here you should find the socials. And also, if you click on sell after you bought and you put 100%, you should be able to see the amount of tokens that you hold as well as the amount of TRX of conversion that you should have. So there's a way of going around it, but to check the market cap in its precise 100% accurate way, it's perhaps not possible. And here, I mean, if you're used to Pump Fun, you're going to see exactly the same thing. You're going to be able to see the wallet distribution and you're going to be able to see how much the dev wallet holds, what the top wallets are. And obviously, if you see a wallet like this, just check it out, but it's most likely the bonding curve, the liquidity that is provided to the decentralized exchange to actually allow trading. And here, just to show you a few of my wins, I've already talked about Brett and absolutely crazy. 9x from the very bottom in which I caught this. We've been printing with this. I've already explained the criteria. Then I traded this project, which also went to 0 probably now, but I was able to make a 3 to 4x, something like that, out of Trump. So another Trump related. So watch out for the Politify sphere to actually pick up on the Tron ecosystem. That could also be quite big. And then I made a 4x. I actually cheated way earlier into this. I would have made around a 10x. Or even more. So, I mean, I can't catch them all, but I would rather be safe and take a 4x other than, you know, risk it all into a 10x. At least that's just my investing strategy. You can do whatever you want, obviously. And it's so funny because you can see the buggy here as well, because it was showing 5K in market cap here, but it was already 50K in market cap. So it's pretty stupid. But anyway, this project also did quite well, and it was a boys club character from, you know, Matt Fury. So watch out for anything that is Matt Fury related, and especially the projects that are very original and that perhaps haven't been created before on other chains. That would be even better. And by the way, I did all of these multiple X's in one single day of trading. So obviously I made a lot of money, and so can you, especially if you were to join my VIP group, because here is where the meme coin millionaires are going to be made this bull cycle, and especially when we're gonna truly experience the meme coin super cycle, which is already good, but it's nowhere near where it's gonna be at in a few months and probably next year. So you want to get in as soon as possible so you can start printing and set yourself up for success. And also I can give you a portfolio review included in your membership, and I would recommend the lifetime membership because you're also gonna get access to my newly finished 3-in-1 course bundle in which I talk about gem hunting, taking profits, and crypto 101, 3-in-1 module, and it's a lot of lesson, a lot of hours of my work, and this is all included into the price of a lifetime membership. So this is easily the best value for money. It's crazy, but yeah, I decided to give it back to you, to my community, and not sell this course separately, but rather include it for lifetime members only. You might have a once in a lifetime opportunity in this meme coin super cycle to build generational wealth. Don't waste it. I hope to see you there and help you out with your crypto investing journey. And until then, take care for now.